It is now my honor to introduce the Honorable James A. Baker III, the 61st Secretary of State. Mr. Secretary.
Thank you very much, Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington, of course, is blessed with museums and memorials that are dedicated to a broad array of topics that have helped shape the history of this great nation. There are museums of American art, the Jewish Holocaust, and our news industry. There are memorials that preserve the memory of the brave men and women who fought in the 2 world wars, the Vietnam War, and other major conflicts. And of course, there are testaments to George Washington, to Thomas Jefferson, to Abraham Lincoln, and to other Americans who helped make this nation great. But until now, there hasn't been a center dedicated to one of the most important aspects of our nation state, and that's its diplomacy and the diplomats who've practiced it over the centuries. Since the days of our founding, the United States has really been blessed by adroit diplomacy. It was, after all, successful diplomacy that allowed us to strike the Treaty of Paris, diplomacy that made possible the Louisiana Purchase, diplomacy that formulated and implemented the Marshall Plan, and diplomacy that made sure that the Cold War ended with a whimper and not with a bang. Throughout American history, our nation has been strengthened and protected through strong diplomatic alliances and agreements. And so I think we should be very pleased that this Diplomacy Center is being built. For one reason, it will tell the amazing story of the brave men and women who have served on the front lines of American diplomacy, the stories of all of them. Although too often overlooked, their tales of heroism are truly inspiring. When I was Secretary of State, I knew I could count on my State Department colleagues to respond with speed and skill to any challenge, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even as the world shifted under their feet. The Diplomacy Center will capture this trademark quality in an exhibit entitled Diplomacy is Everywhere, 24/7. The exhibit will emphasize a simple reality. No matter what political upheaval or crisis the world faces, diplomacy never sleeps. American diplomats are and will be hard at work managing a myriad of problems. There's, of course, another big reason that this center is very important. It will explain why diplomacy matters to every American citizen. Such an understanding of the purpose and practice of statecraft in a democracy like ours is extremely critical because the people are, after all, the ultimate arbiters of our foreign policy. During tough times like today, as crisis brews in the Ukraine, the entire Middle East burns, tensions rise in the Far East, and terrorism grows stronger, not weaker, diplomacy is going to play an important role in peacefully resolving many of the challenges that we face. As a result, the better educated Americans are about this nation's diplomacy, the more effectively our leaders can engage on the world stage to find sound solutions. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to returning to Washington for the grand opening of the United States Diplomacy Center. It will remind us of the great diplomats in our past, and it will remind us as well of the importance of diplomacy in our future. Thank you all for supporting this very important project.